This is the all-new 2020 Toyota Supra 5th generation, built in collaboration with BMW, hence why it resembles a Z4 M Coupe. Well, the double bubble roof definitely does. This is the shortest and widest track wheelbase that you can buy today, and this is the first time ever that Toyota has featured a duck-style spoiler here at the rear, which is usually found on a Porsche. Toyota, known for the Supra being a 6-cylinder turbo glory. This thing here is a new generation. This is all about ingenuity, the engineering behind it. At its heart, it's German. As BMW says, sheer driving pleasure. We've got sheer driving pleasure in this. It's time now to take it for a spin and decide how well this drives. It is supplied by BMW with a ZF automatic gearbox, and it has 335 horsepower, 365 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 62 miles an hour in 4.3 seconds. But tests have shown, people have taken these on the dyno and have produced 400 horsepower. This car is definitely a lot quicker than what they make it out to be. Believe me, it is much quicker. You put your foot down and it just screams. It's got a screaming inline 6, and on top of that, it's got a heads-up display that tells you what the speed limit is all the time. And if you press the mode button, you can also change all your radio channels as well, so you can scroll through those right on your heads-up display. So they're actually not displayed here on this screen. Which, let me take you to the infotainment system. It is exactly BMW. This is basically a BMW chassis, BMW power plant, everything BMW, but wrapped with a Toyota body. So Toyota made this Supra body, and that is all that's Toyota pretty much. From the interior, the seats, the leather, the steering wheel being so thin, it reminds me of a Toyota car. It's all Toyota feeling. The steering, the precision of the steering and how light this steering feels is exactly like a Toyota. Where BMW feels a lot stiffer, they usually come with a thicker steering wheel, and at the same time, that whole interior cabin that you see here is basically all BMW, including the leather quality. So it's got that BMW power plant, as we know, and it's got a lot of aspects like the door switches, the handles, the aircon controls, the gear shift lever, everything that controls this car is solid. It is all BMW. There is no need to worry about that. But there's a lot of Supra in this car. So for the first time ever, we've got a 2-seater Supra now, so we don't have the rear parcel or the rear seats. But in the back, we've got 2 subwoofers, as if you're a modifier back in the past, the tuners. Everybody installed subwoofers in the car. Well, this thing has them there at the back towards the boot. And the boot has plenty space in it to take little luggage. And up front, we've got the engine, obviously, so that sweet 6-cylinder. And now you can hear that exhaust note. It just screams. It loves screaming. But this car is all about fun. It's the thrill to drive. I just can't stop saying how much it feels like a BMW. It's got an electronic steering, which is again BMW in a way, but Toyota have tuned this car so it drives and handles more of the way that they like it. So the dampers have been tuned and changed. Even though this car shares the same engine and pretty much the platform coming from the brand new Z4, it has a different feel to it altogether. It doesn't feel exactly like that. So it feels a lot more nimble. It's got a very short wheelbase, it's got a wide track, and it just performs sensationally well. It's got a lot of get up and go, and again, those pops and crackles, you can always hear them. They always make their appearance. And what I like about this is that this new cluster has the tachometer right in the middle, and then you've got the speed to the left, and it's pretty much bare and basic. It's got everything that you need, and it doesn't have the extras on there. So it's pretty much like an Aventador. It reminds me of the LP700 setup, but everything is pretty much electronic. And in the center console, you've got all the latest technology. So basically, you can put your mobile phone in, and it's a wireless charge. So all latest iPhones can charge themselves in this car. It's basically got a lot of things you want. You press the sport button, then the car becomes louder, or you can drive it in normal mode, so then the car becomes more civilized, it's quieter, you don't get the pops and crackles or those burbles. Press that sport button and then put your foot down again. Pops and crackles up here pretty much instantly. And one thing that I like about this particular car here being so small, it's got the shortest and widest track wheelbase on the planet at the moment, is that they followed through with the BMW Z4 M Coupe, and that design there always had that double bubble roof. And now with this car, they've incorporated that. Otherwise, the roof would end here, which is pretty much right on my head. Right now, I've got so much room with this design. At 6'1", it's easy for me to fit. But in saying that, the cabin doesn't feel as roomy as you would like. You'd prefer a bit more space. We can pull yourself out a bit. Instead, you feel like you've crammed in a bit if you're a bigger type of person. But when you really think about it, BMW have done a great job in providing Toyota with a car like this. You could just say it's a Z4 with Toyota wrapping on it. So Toyota have put their own shell on top of a BMW platform. Do I like it? I think I do. I really do like this car. And I do believe that they're going to release a more powerful version. I shouldn't be saying that, but I think that there will be, because this car here does it for me, but it needs that V58S engine. It needs a twin turbo if you could, which is possibly what, that S58. It would be so much more fun, because Toyota have built this to combat the Porsche. So the 718 Cayman S, this is a direct rival. And some could say the BMW M2 competition, but the BMW M2 competition has a lot more power, or feels like it does, and it's slightly bigger, where this is more of a hatch, which is more comparable to that 718 Cayman S. And believe me, the 718 Cayman S being a 4-cylinder, this being the inline 6, I definitely would rather this car. I know Porsche are going to hate me for saying that, but I do. For a car that's nearly half its price, this is a little bit better. Put your foot down, and it takes corners like there is nothing. It is such a fun car. It is so small, it's light, you can just hammer. Toyota have actually tuned this car and pretty much tweaked it so those exhausts hop. That is done by Toyota, I reckon. Toyota have managed to tweak the suspension, the exhaust, a few bits and pieces to make this